Annyeong! Excuse the mess behind me. I'm clearing out some things and my bed was the only space left to put things. I have a lot of things, so yeah, bags for days. I've collected many of them. So excuse this. Let's go watch the speech.
YouTube.
I'm sorry,
So
but I just...
Now we will hear a special video message.
I have to laugh really bad
boys,
about this Facebook thing.
Henrietta Fore.
Luckily, he can see the humor of it too.
Executive Director of UNICEF.
Okay. Oh, he's feeling awkward now. I'm sorry, but this whole live stream is just too funny.
Stuart, would you like me to say a few words before we see the video?
Yes, you can speak. Go ahead. Communication-wise, they got a lot.
Perhaps I should just begin, Stuart?
Yes. Oh, God.
All right. I'm going to think that, Stuart, you're saying yes. So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone at UNICEF, our thanks to the government of Korea and the group of friends for hosting this discussion at such an important moment. And of course, our thanks to BTS for their continued personal support to UNICEF. Their powerful voices are encouraging millions of children and young people who are feeling anxious and isolated to speak out and to support each other in these extraordinary times. They remind us all that we must unite and join forces not only to address the pandemic, but to build stronger, more sustainable systems for the future. Because even before the pandemic hit, the world was off track in meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. And now COVID-19 has exacerbated the lingering inequalities in all of the systems that support people's lives, threatening to reverse decades of progress made in health, nutrition, education, and poverty reduction. As we scale up our immediate response, thanks to generous donors like you, we are also helping countries strengthen their systems for the future. We're putting a particular emphasis on 4 key areas, all of which require new partnerships with the public and private sectors as we help communities respond, recover, and reimagine systems for the future. So first, distance learning to save futures. We've joined forces with Microsoft and Cambridge University to put education and quality learning in the hands of every child and young person through the Learning Passport. It's an online platform that gives children and youth access to their school curriculum online, wherever they are, including textbooks and instructions in their national language. Over 227 million children are now being supported, and we're working with more companies to develop even more innovative learning systems and solutions. We're also working with public and private partners around our GIGA initiative to expand internet access to every child in every community and every school by 2030, a chance to provide not only education, but also skills and training for young people to enter the workforce. Second, we're focused on water to save communities. In addition to delivering immediate water, sanitation, and hygiene supplies to communities dealing with the pandemic, we're working shoulder to shoulder with governments as they invest in stronger water infrastructure for the future. Businesses are joining our work. They're stepping up with offers of funding and contributions in kind. Unilever and Colgate-Palmolive have generously contributed soap and other hygiene products. They're helping us strengthen and speed up the supply chains for critical items like soap and sanitizer. And they're helping us scale up innovations for communities in need. Through our partnership with Lixil, for example, we have designed a low-cost, low-water flow hand-washing device that can help more households fulfill this basic need. And we have launched an initiative with the World Economic Forum, WHO, and the World Bank to gather more partners, ideas, and funding around the need for greater hygiene. We also want to bring public and private financing together to invest in stronger water systems in the poorest and most disadvantaged communities, not only as a basic need, but as an essential disease prevention measure. It includes a blended finance initiative with a pipeline of projects under development worth more than $500 million. And third, we're working on mental health to save families. As I will mention in the video, COVID-19 and the measures put in place to contain it have been particularly challenging for children, adolescents, and young people. Schools closed, health services stretched, counseling and psychosocial support being lost, isolation and being cut off from friends. These are all having an impact on the mental health of young people. In response, UNICEF has been scaling up mental health support and counseling for children and adolescents to help them through this uncertain time. And our fourth and last area of focus is immunization to save lives.
So I am
this includes supporting the ACT Accelerator Initiative to develop and deploy innovative new diagnostics treatment tools like oxygen therapies. UNICEF is also playing a lead role in the COVAX facility to ensure that any vaccine delivered is fairly and equitably distributed around the world. This could become one of the largest procurements of vaccines in history, and we look forward to working with the public and private sectors to manage the supply chains for these vital vaccines. Throughout this work, we're helping countries strengthen primary healthcare services and bring them closer to where people live, something we are doing with you, Stuart and Tedros, in WHO. We are supporting more than 115 governments as they scale up social protection measures to address socioeconomic impacts of COVID-19. Throughout all this work, UNICEF is proud to be working with all of your governments and with a group of friends. While the pandemic has changed our lives, it has not dimmed our commitment to serve and support children. So thank you all for your continued support and for your commitment to children and young people everywhere. Thank you, Stuart, and I turn you back over to the video.
Thank you. Thank you, Henrietta. I have to say that really was an inspiring statement. And it shows the breadth and depth of the work that UNICEF is doing and the many partnerships you have.
Yeah.
And I also want to thank you on behalf of my colleagues in Geneva and around the world for all of the support that we get.
Why does this
from
feel
UNICEF.
like we're
it is
invading in a
model
private Zoom call?
partnership, and we're very grateful for it.
Thank you, Stuart.
But yeah, he's right.
So now we will go to
That was really
the
interesting.
special
Hence why
video message
took
from
notes.
the Bangtan Boys
All right.
and Henrietta Fore, who will be in this video as well.
Okay, let's see.
Hi, I'm Henrietta Fore, Executive Director of UNICEF. I know this year has been hard on young people. Your
lovely
lives
woman.
have been turned upside down. What seemed normal and familiar is now strange and new, and what you're feeling is probably hard to explain. Things might not feel right now, but we can use this time to think about how we can reimagine and build a better world. You are not alone. I hear you, and I know our friends BTS hear you.
Oh God.
Thank you, representatives of the member states of Group of Friends of Solidarity for Global Health Security, UNICEF Executive Director, Excellencies, and distinguished guests from all around the world. It is a great honor for us to have this valuable opportunity to speak in a session in the 75th UN General Assembly. My name is RM, the leader of the group BTS. And 2 years ago here, I asked your name. I urged you to let me hear your voice.
I'm gonna cry.
And I let
during
myself
this,
be filled
just to let
with
you know.
imagination. As a boy from the small city of Ilsan in Korea, as a young man standing at the UNGA, as a global citizen of this world, I
didn't think I
imagined
would, but
the limitless possibilities before
they're
all of
here.
us. And my heart beat with excitement. But COVID-19 was beyond my imagination. Our world tour was totally canceled. All of our plans went away, and I became alone. I looked up but couldn't see the stars at night.
절망했습니다. 모든 게 무너진 것만 같았습니다. 할 수 있는 건 창밖을 내다보는 것뿐이었고 갈 수 있는 곳은 제 방 안뿐이었습니다. 어제는 전 세계 팬분들과 함께 춤추고 노래했었는데 오늘은 내 세계가 방 하나로 줄어든 것만 같았습니다. 그때 저의 동료들이 손을 잡아주었습니다. 함께 토닥이며 무엇을 같이 할 수 있을까 이야기를 나눴습니다.
오랜만에 어쩌면 데뷔 후 처음으로 일상이 찾아왔습니다.
Excuse
원했던
me?
건 아니었지만 소중한 시간이었습니다.
This
넓었던
wasn't
세계가
supposed to
순식간에
happen.
좁아지는 건 제게 굉장히 익숙한 경험입니다. 월드 투어를 하면서 화려한 조명과 팬분들 환호 속에 서 있다가 그날 밤 방으로 돌아오면 제 세계는 겨우 몇 평짜리 좁은 공간으로 변하기 때문이죠. 좁은 방 안이었지만 나와 우리의 세계는 넓게 펼쳐져 있었습니다. 악기와 스마트폰 그리고 팬들이 그 세상 안에 존재했기 때문이죠.
그런데 이번엔 예전과 달리 더 외롭고 좁게 느껴졌습니다. 왜일까 한참을 생각했습니다. 아마도 상상하는 것이 힘들어졌기 때문이 아닐까 생각했습니다. 지금의 상황이 많이 답답하고 우울해졌지만 메모를 하고 노래를 만들며 나에 대해 돌아보기도 했습니다. 여기서 포기하면 내 인생의 주인공이 아니지. 멋진 사람은 이렇게 하겠지? 라고 생각하면서요.
누가 먼저였는지는 모르겠습니다. 많은 감정을 끌어안고 우리 7 멤버들은 함께 음악을 만들기 시작했습니다. 그렇게 시작한 음악이기에 모든 것에 솔직할 수 있었고요. 우리의 삶은 예측할 수 없는 만큼 정해진 답도 없습니다. 저 또한 방향만 있고 뚜렷한 방식은 없는 상태에서 나와 우리를 믿으며 최선을 다하고 순간을 즐기며 이 자리까지 왔으니까요.
우리의 음악과 함께 사랑하는 멤버들과 가족, 친구들, 그동안 잊고 지냈던 나를 찾았습니다. 미래에 대한 걱정, 끊임없는 노력 다 중요하지만 가장 중요한 건 자기 자신을 아껴주고 격려해주고 가장 즐겁게 해주는 일입니다. 모든 게 불확실한 세상일수록 항상 나, 너, 그리고 우리의 소중함을 잃지 말아야 합니다. 저희가 지난 3년간 이야기해온 Love Myself 메시지처럼 그리고 I'm Diamond, You know I glow 이란 저희의 노래 다이너마이트의 가사처럼 말이죠.
모두 함께 작업하던 어느 밤 RM 형은 별이 보이지 않는다고 했는데 그때 제게 유리창에 비친 제 얼굴이 보였습니다. 우리 모두의 얼굴도 보였습니다. 그렇게 서로에게 들려주고 싶은 이야기를 노래로 만들었습니다. 불확실한 오늘을 살고 있지만 사실 변한 건 없습니다. 내가 할 수 있는 것이 있다면, 우리의 목소리로 많은 사람들에게 힘을 줄 수 있다면 우린 그러길 원하고 계속 움직일 것입니다.
When I start feeling lost, I remember my face in the window, like Jungkook said. I remember the words I spoke here 2 years ago. Love yourself, speak yourself. Now, more than ever, we must try to remember who we are and face who we are. We must try to love ourselves and imagine the future. BTS will be there with you. Our tomorrow may be dark, painful, difficult, and we might stumble or fall down. But the stars shine brightest when the night is darkest. And if the stars are hidden, we'll let moonlight guide us. If even the moon is dark, Let our faces be the light that helps us find our way. Let's reimagine our world. We're huddled together, tired, but let's dream again. Let's dream about a future when our words can break out of our small rooms again. It might feel like it's always night and we'll always be alone, but the night is always darkest before the first light of dawn.
It's very noisy in this building.
Life goes on.
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 Yeah.
Let's live on.
Okay, guys. Dude, you're muted again. Ugh. I needed a minute or two to collect my thoughts after that. And also I cleared out this mess, because what better to clear out your headspace than cleaning up some things. That was a very interesting speech for many reasons, because I think what forgive me, I forgot her name. I should have looked it up before starting to talk, but of course I didn't. I just got in here blindly. But what she said, I read some comments in the meantime saying that people were like, oh, this is a lecture and where's BTS? The relevance of everything that she said, it wasn't a lecture. It was actually very interesting to hear what they are doing at this moment and where the focus lies. And actually what UNICEF is doing is what we all should be doing, is what we all should pay attention to. I know people who have kids in schools that are having a very hard time adjusting to this whole situation, which is understandable because we have never been in this kind of situation, so we don't know how to handle it. And the thoughts that came into my mind, which I had to write down, which is why I was writing down, is that actually the things that we are tending to right now, or that we are trying to tend to, and that organizations are putting their funds in, is basic needs that something simple like technology, something simple like a laptop or a smartphone, it's not just a luxury, it's actually become a staple of a household. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have a smartphone. I have a laptop, but I'm kind of privileged in that, in a way, because there are many people who don't have a laptop, but actually every basic household needs at least one laptop and a smartphone to be connected with family, with friends, with people. You need to be reachable. We don't have phones. What's the word for it? We only have most of us only have phones that we take with us now. I had this thought for a long time when I've had this thought for a long time when I moved back to the Netherlands and had to start, because I grew up in France and Belgium before that, but when I had to look for student housing and living on my own, how would I stay connected with my family and friends? Because paying for a home phone, like a house phone, and most student homes don't even have a connection for that. So yeah, I need a smartphone. All of that, I'm saying this to put into perspective how much of a basic need this has become and how many people still don't have a smartphone. Even if you don't have a smartphone, just have a mobile phone. Some people can't even afford that. But those basic needs that had to have been done in the past 10 years, and it's only now happening that the whole world is trying to focus on how can we provide resources for every family everywhere around the world to continue education. Education is one of the most important things in the world. And I have to say, if I look at my surroundings, I think that I can easily say that 1 in 5 people around me. No, that's not true, because I live in the Netherlands and it's a kind of an educated country, but many people choose to not act responsibly or educated. No, let's put it differently. I used to teach language, French. Language teachers are not the most important in schools. But for me, speaking several languages, it's important because I can get in touch with people around the world. I can connect with them easier, and also speaking multiple languages keeps your brain fresh. So for me, it is kind of important. But the reason I quit teaching is because I was the only person in the whole school trying to change the way we educated people. I think education needs to be interesting. It needs to be joyful, and it needs to spark interest. It doesn't need to be something boring and something where you have to stick to your books and learn from your books. Books should only serve as a bonus material. So yeah, I tried to make my lessons fun, but it wasn't really appreciated. So after 3 years of trying, you just quit. But it warms my heart to learn through a speech of this wonderful woman that is sharing all of these things with us, that people are trying, or at least there's a group of people trying, and that they are actually, by doing all of this and by tending to all of this, which is all coming towards us at once because of the whole pandemic situation, which makes it up, which is teaching us what are we doing wrong and what are the important things that we need to look at, that we need to focus on. That people are tending to it. I forgot the first half of my sentence. I'm sorry if that sentence doesn't make sense. Yeah, and by doing this, we're all showing people that every single person has a right to be on this earth, and that every single person has a right to be heard. So, which brings me to the BTS part of this speech. That touched me very hard as well, because as you could see, you know, these 7 people, they lost a lot. They lost their stars, they lost a connection with their fans, because digital connection can only do so much for you. But at least they have the 7 of each other. They have each other. They're 7 people and they're always together. And even if ARMY is a big part of who's BTS, them as people, they have each other. I don't have that. So that is why it hurt me very much. Because of course I've got people around me, I've got friends and family, but I'm still very much alone in dealing with this whole situation. And for me, dealing with pandemic restrictions, quarantine, and being alone is not a problem. I'm an introvert. I've become more introverted. I have depression, I have chronic illnesses, and I have trouble finding my spot in society. So that is why my life is difficult. And I am, yeah, that is what actually struck me. The question I was wondering, or what I was wondering about after they told all of that, was, but how do you do this alone? Because I am in touch with people, but I'm still alone. So it doesn't really help. But it's a hopeful speech because it shows people that do have people around them have to continue to care for each other. So, and the best thing I can do in my life is love myself and speak myself, which I'm doing through a YouTube channel. For me, this makes a lot of sense because I can entertain myself. I can hopefully entertain some of you guys watching this. I get to use skills that I acquired previously, and I can continue to grow and teach myself in various things, editing, making YouTube videos, trying to figure out how to do all of this, being creative. That is what keeps me going, what gives me a drive. And yeah, also I get to speak myself. I get to speak, literally, I get to speak my brain. I get to share it with people I don't even know. And that's all I need. If that is the reason of my existence, to show myself, show my struggles, share my struggles, and inspire people, then that is enough for me. I don't need anything else. So yeah, those were some thoughts that I wanted to share with you. And I needed to collect these thoughts by clearing out space behind me. It's now on the other side of the camera, and I'm still nowhere done. So I'm gonna continue with my Marie Kondoing spree. If it doesn't spark joy, it's going. 감사합니다. 안녕.